What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Phantom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Mike, Anthony, Michelle, and we got Casey on with us. So, we're talking about a Marvel
Yay.
film. We are here to discuss the highly anticipated Deadpool and Wolverine, which we have all seen. And I'm going to go to Mike first as the resident Deadpool addict of the podcast. Mike, what are your like first thoughts of this movie?
I was so disappointed. This stupid ass fucking. No, I'm just kidding. This was a fucking incredible. Of course, I'm the resident Marvel apologist. I love everything. Blah blah blah. I am a staunch opponent of fan service, and I got so much fan service from this movie. Like, oh my god! Like, literally, the misdirect with Chris Evans showing up and being Johnny Storm instead of Captain America was
Yeah,
perfect.
love it.
I mean, friggin' the Blade one. Oh my God, I'm just gonna blow it out of blood water and just talk about like fucking Wesley Snipes coming in as Blade was crazy. Like me, Hanako, and my wife Michelle, we went to the MCU Atlanta debut, and like I was sitting next to Hanako, and all every time something happened, me and Hanako were just like this, like look. And it's like when Blade came along, I almost lost my I was hyperventilating. I was just like, how, like fuck. But it's
We
like
had
this
the
movie
same
was
reaction to those three particular cameos. Mike and I literally uttered the same words each time. When Electra came out first, we were like, "Oh shit!" Blair came out, we were both like this. We were like, oh my God, they did it. And then when Gambit showed up, we were like, oh my God, they actually like he's
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
in a Marvel
they
film.
actually did it.
yeah, they did it.
He finally like Channing finally gets to play Gambit, and like the accent, that fucking
It was
accent. I swear to
fantastic. I
God.
loved it.
I loved it.
But yeah, it's like I this movie shows how much of a passion project that Deadpool is
Hmm.
for Ryan Reynolds. Like
Hmm.
he put
Absolutely.
everything into this movie and it shows. It was damn near flawless. There were certain things that I was kind of questionable about, but overall, I mean, him and Logan fought an army of fucking Deadpools. And Logan put his fucking cowl on. Finally. How many people have been asking for that fucking cowl? Like I'm one of them, but it's like I when he put that cowl on, and it's like I got to give Ryan Reynolds credit because everybody knows has already seen when Deadpool and Wolverine were walking past Lethal's feet, da da da. They already seen
Mhm.
that part of that, and then it's like
Hmm.
right when they were getting ready to fight, he fucking reaches back. I was like, what's he doing? Then I was like,
We were like, oh,
and
oh,
and literally everybody like there were so many like Wolverine cosplays when we were watching. And it's like all of them were like, "It's a fucking cow! It's a fucking cow!" Like losing their shit. And I was just like, Ryan Reynolds is I get it. And it's like Sean Levy did an excellent job of putting it all together and making it look really good. I applaud this. This is probably one of my favorite movies. My for one of my favorite or second favorite movie this year. I loved it. I've already watched it twice. I'll probably watch it again somehow. I'll figure it out, but I loved it. Chef's kiss.
all right, Liggins, let's go to you. What you
Well,
think?
I'll start because since Mike is the Deadpool is his favorite. Deadpool is not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get Deadpool. Like I watched the other two and I was like, oh, but I love Ryan Reynolds and I love his passion for it and the story to get to this part. However, I absolutely love this movie. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go see it again. And I have parts of movies that when I'm sad and I just need a smile, I watch. One of them
Mm-hmm.
is a Yoda lip syncing one. But now I have Bye 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 dance with Killing. It makes
Nope.
me smile. I found clips of it when I'm
It's
like,
on
oh,
YouTube.
I know.
Killed it.
I have played it several times and I'm just like so
Oh my
happy.
God.
So I absolutely loved it. It was very entertaining. Like you don't have to be like a Deadpool fan. I am a Wolverine fan though,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just entertaining too, to a point that okay, we need to watch it again because I know it's something we missed.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So that was how I felt. Oops. Yeah,
All
here
right,
it
Anthony,
comes.
go ahead. Here we go.
Really, y'all, you're being so presumptive, Mike. Really?
I feel
I'm
him.
I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're kidding because it was okay. I
I
just
knew it.
You know what? We're about to kick him off this. We're about to kick him off right now.
was. I mean, it was entertaining. Um, I like the first two Deadpool movies. I like this one. Near perfect, probably not. Um, Entertaining, yeah. It's got some funny parts, yeah. Would I see it again? Probably, but it was a Deadpool movie.
I love
Like
that look Michelle just gave
I'm
you.
not
Like,
ready to
what the
push you
fuck
back.
is wrong with you?
Like,
I didn't say it was bad. It was just okay. I'm not a big Deadpool fan.
yeah, but I absolutely loved it,
I'm
and I
not.
love the
And
character in this movie
and
and his interaction with Wolverine and all the cameos.
can I finish?
I mean, come on now.
Can I finish?
What else do you need?
Can I finish?
Okay, I'm just saying.
So, and anyone who listens knows. Okay, let me start here. I'm not a big gore person, and so I don't like zombie stuff. Uh, it was a lot of gore, it was a lot of violence, a lot of blood, and we were rewatching Deadpool one, the first one, and the same thing. Like, this is so much, and after a
This
while,
from the horror enthusiast, though.
Right.
uh, not gore.
I know. I'm messing with
gore.
you because we've had that conversation before.
Right. So the cameos were great. There were a lot of them.
There were a lot.
There were a lot
It was
of
a
them.
lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot
It
of them.
really was.
Now,
It really was.
what I really liked was it didn't really, to me, I didn't consider it like a passion project for Ryan Reynolds. Like, it looked to me more like a love letter to the 17 Fox Fox Marvel movies, because they pretty much put them in the wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna move on. And they brought Wolverine into the MCU, and we're gonna move on from the Fox properties. And I appreciated that, because some of those Fox Marvel movies I actually kind of like.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what?
Casey.
I have to adjust how I think Anthony's going to respond to things, because it's like I keep expecting him. There's nothing that he like.
No, you
He
don't.
doesn't
No,
get
you
too
don't.
high.
Because
He's like he's
he
always
set a
really
precedent.
level.
He
But
set
you
a
were
precedent.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah, you were right.
Let's not make this about me. Let's focus on Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, okay? And Hugh Jackman. Right?
Mike,
Sure.
you were right. So keep it up.
Yeah. He set a precedent, and you're reacting like appropriately. So it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Casey. Casey left us for the weekend because her job called her to Raleigh, of all places. So she couldn't even
there's
hang
no
with
one.
none of us.
Where there's no one. Let me just make that clear. I really liked it. I was in a theater with people who really didn't. I think they just watched the movie, whereas I enjoyed the movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I talked to the screen. People was coming out, and I was like, okay. And then with not Captain Marvel, Lord. And,
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans showed up. I was going to say Captain Pine. When Chris Evans showed up, I'm clapping, and everybody looking at me like. But that's what we do when we go to the movies. We're excited. Right. I was excited about it, and of course, when Blade came out, I was like, "Oh shit!" And I said that loud, so everybody heard that. But I enjoyed it. I do plan on going to see it again. And now I can pay attention a little better, because when you first see something, you're like anticipating what's going to happen. So you can't dedicate, your focus on, the story or whatever else, because you're so excited to see it. So I plan on going to see it again. I'll probably still be just as vocal as I was when I saw it that time. But
absolutely,
Deadpool 1 is probably my favorite. 2 is my least favorite. So this is probably second for me, my second favorite Deadpool. So I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Okay.
And
I can't even rank them
enjoyed the
because
opening sequence.
this is my favorite movie trilogy of all time. Like I have no complaints about any of them. I love all three. This is my I could watch all three back to back. This is
Watch
perfect.
all three, but I think for me too was just kind of long and drawn out, and I was like, Jesus, is this over yet? But I still watch it every time it come on.
Right. So, like Mike said, we went to a screening hosted by MCU ATL. Shout out to Leonard and Vivian and Ty and Teresa and all of them. We had a great time. This was at a movie theater I had never been to. It was the NGC Cinemas, and as part of
they're all over the place. There's one by us. They're really good theaters. Like
they're not down here
like
on the south side. So
where was it?
It was up on Buford Highway
Buford,
in the Brookhaven area. But this place has so the popcorn and drinks, once you get the ones that are refillable, they're self-serve. So you can girl, yes. Self-serve popcorn, self-serve drinks.
Self-serve slushies.
Yes. Ooh. So me as a diabetic, I should not have had the 3 slushies that I had that night, but I was I was indulging. I was like, okay, you know what? I might not have another slushie for a year. I'm gonna have fun tonight. There's something about watching a film like this with true diehard fans. There is no other experience like it. I have not been in a movie theater that had that kind of reaction since Endgame, and it wasn't as big a reaction as Endgame, but it was still like, it just changes the vibe of when you go to watch the film. You're enjoying the film, but you're also enjoying it more because of the people around you. Mm-hmm. Like Mike said, we were sitting next to each other, and every time something happened, we sitting there hitting each other like, oh my God, did you see? Did you see? If it wasn't for Mike, I would have totally missed the Henry Cavill
was
cameo
Wolverine,
because I couldn't recognize him. I was looking at him like, what? Who? And then it wasn't.
I was really like, oh shit, you see Henry Cavill? She was like, huh?
I was like, wait, what? It wasn't until he fully turned around and opened his mouth that I was like, oh wait, because I'm going in it, thinking about all the rumors that had been out for the last year about who was going to show up. I was fully expecting Daniel Radcliffe to be in there somewhere. I was a little disappointed he wasn't, but when I saw Henry Cavill, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Then you get Elektra, and I am one of the people who I actually liked that movie. I liked Jennifer Garner as that character. So it was cool for me to see her show up because I was like, yes, at least they didn't make the cameos all men. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was like, come on. Elektra's a kick-ass person. Then when Wesley Snipes walked in, the whole theater lost their shit.
Erupted.
She was there. I don't know if she was on a date or if she was just with a friend of hers, but they were talking right before the movie. And he asked her, he was like, so are you a fan of Deadpool? She said, well, I've only seen the movie. And I don't really know much about his character. And then, well, what about Wolverine? She was like, I haven't watched any of the films that he was in.
What? Wait, huh?
Ow.
What?
Not gatekeep.
Is that possible?
But to a Deadpool and Wolverine movie and not know nothing about the characters. So when everybody is sitting there cheering about stuff, she's looking around like, oh, I guess this is a big deal. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to block her out of my peripheral and I'm just going to focus on Mike over here. Blade walked out, whole movie theater went crazy. When Channing stepped out, before Channing stepped out, when the card came through, I said, oh,
I didn't know who it was going to be.
Oh, shit. No, I knew who it was because...
No, I literally said, as soon as I saw the card, I was like, that's fucking Gambit.
We were like, oh my God, is that Gambit?
But I didn't know who was playing Gambit.
Right. I knew
had
Gambit, I didn't know who it was.
Rumors that Channing was going to do it. See, but I was like, I don't know if they're really going to do that. When he stepped out, I just lost it.
Because I thought it could have been the other one. His name.
I felt so happy for him because I was like, he's been fighting for this role for years. Like they even literally brought him out years ago as Gambit and announced that there was going to be a Gambit movie that eventually got scrapped. So I was glad to see him. Unfortunately, I had already been spoiled about X-23's appearance in the film, so it was just kind of like, oh, she's in it. Hold on, I'm sorry, baby, you can't walk on my laptop, okay? But so yeah, the cameos were amazing, and then towards the end, trying to sit here and figure out who was what as far as the Deadpool squad, like
Yeah.
knowing that Blake Lively was Lady Deadpool, and then we found out, like, Mike and I were so busy talking about the movie, we
totally missed the scroll.
We did not pay attention to the credit scroll, so we missed the fact that Matthew McConaughey was Cowboy Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out today that 2 of Ryan Reynolds' kids played Kid Deadpool and the baby Deadpool, and then Nathan Fillion was Headpool.
I was like, what?
There's so much stuff. And then you get Pyro, and then you see in the back, you see what's her name, Callisto in the back, and you see Kelly Hu's character. I was just like, there was just so much going on. I absolutely loved it. I'm one of those people. I am all about the fan service if it's done in the right way. This was absolutely done in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I really did love it. I think the main thing I didn't like about the story was the fact that Vanessa and Wade were broken up, because I was like,
come on.
Man literally went through time to bring you back to life. Yeah. And y'all ain't even together. But it's okay. It's okay. It worked. Everything worked out for the best. He still did what he had to do to save her and to save his friends. It was fine. When I say I smiled from beginning to end, like the opening credits, Marvel is gonna have a hard time topping those opening credits, because when you have Deadpool killing the TVA with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, and there is a dance break of NSYNC's Bye 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 in the middle. When I say I was laughing so hard, and I was sitting there looking, I was like, that can't be Ryan Reynolds, because I've heard Ryan can't dance. And no, they had a professional dancer, and he's been posting.
Dance pool.
Yeah, he was posting about it on social media. His name is Nick Pauley. He did an excellent job. But oh my God, when I say I enjoyed that movie so much. So my enthusiasm and Mike's enthusiasm, we're going to make up for Anthony's lack of enthusiasm. Because when I say, I'm like, at this point, I'm almost kind of like, I think this might be my second favorite Marvel film under Endgame. I'm like really that close to saying that. So
I can see that. I can actually see that. I'm not mad at that.
So yeah. But okay, let's talk about some of the in and outs of this film. What did you guys think about the way that they integrated the TVA storyline into Deadpool's world?
I thought it was pretty good. Now, I'm going to reference a long time ago on one of the podcasts. I was talking about how the multiverse, the fact that they acknowledged and created the multiverse, that it was going to allow Marvel to do anything.
Yep. You
anything. Did. And literally we get to see them do anything.
And everything.
I mean, I commend them for listening to me and following my advice. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, but didn't you also say that you don't have to watch the TV shows to watch the movies? I'm pretty sure that was one of your quotes too.
You don't.
Really? So you go watch this movie without watching Loki and not being like, what the fuck is the TVA? What the fuck is
Well, I mean, if some people can come and watch it and only have seen one Deadpool movie and none of the X-Men movies.
I mean, because they explained it so you wouldn't have to.
They gave you enough exposition in there.
Yeah.
You just would miss Hunter B-15,
which that's
a girl.
It would be different if the movie was about the TVA. It wasn't about the TVA.
But it gave you the information what they do, and that's all you needed.
Because they had to explain it to him.
Yeah.
And they were explaining to the audience. Because he had never heard of the TVA either.
So yeah. They don't know that Loki is sitting there holding all the branches together.
Yeah.
They didn't show it.
Yeah.
Now, if they
Speaking of
had
which,
showed it, then you'd be like, wait, how the fuck did that happen? Okay, then you can say you might need to watch the TV show to understand what that is about.
Right.
yeah. See, okay, I can agree with that, but I still want to know why the fuck Thor's crying. If they don't
I do
fucking
too.
figure something out and tell me what the fuck is going on, I gotta wait till fucking Secret Wars to find this shit out. Like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like, that's a hell of a fucking Easter egg just to throw in there. Just like Thor crying over Deadpool. I'm like, and I was like Deadpool. I was like, wait a minute, what happened here? I was
Right.
like, I want to know too. And
Right.
they left it hanging. I'm like,
He was like, Thor's
I
crying
was
over
so I
there.
didn't even realize that until I went home. I was going home. I was like, this is great. Wait, why was
They
Thor
didn't tell
crying?
me.
Like, damn, damn it.
And the funny thing is, they used repurposed footage because Chris Hemsworth was like, "Yeah, so I heard apparently I'm in there. I'm not getting paid
Oh
for
damn.
But Deadpool did tell Wolverine they gonna use you forever.
Yep.
until
they
you're
did.
90."
To your 90.
You're
So you
90.
already know that he gonna be in something else. It don't even matter.
Well, I mean, Feige already said this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con that there are no plans to replace Wolverine. So it's like now
You
that's the
can't.
running joke until you're 90. The other running joke from this movie is so there was a lot of shade thrown in with the characters who were there, when they were talking about, so basically the way that they brought in Elektra, Blade, and Gambit is that they were sent to oh my god, what do they call that area? The purge?
The
No,
void.
the void.
The
Thank you.
Void.
Thank you. So Elektra, Blade, and Gambit apparently were sent to the void from their worlds, and their worlds forgot about them. And, they had some other people from their worlds, and those people had been killed by Cassandra, who is the villain in this movie, who is Charles Xavier's twin sister. And so Deadpool was like naming off particular characters because he was like, oh, can we get this person? Are we going to see that person? And they did mention Daredevil. And so he looks at Elektra. He was like, oh, I'm sorry about Daredevil. She was like, oh, no, it's good.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Which is funny because, of course, she was married to Ben Affleck, who was Daredevil, which I had also heard rumors that he might have been in this one, but, they started throwing rumors about everything. Then the other running joke is Wesley Snipes making his statement that there's only one blade. And it's so
It's
funny
only gonna be
because,
one blade.
right. And then we find out today in our real world, in our part of the multiverse, that the upcoming Blade feature from the MCU has now lost its second director, who has walked off the project. So it's kind of like,
Foreshadowing.
right. Like, okay, y'all can just look. I know Wesley has been very vocal about supporting Mahershala Ali and saying, y'all, none of this is his fault. It takes a lot to bring a Blade film together. Like, he's throwing shade, but at the same time, he has respect for the person who's coming in afterwards. But I'm like, after y'all just brought him in, I know he probably doesn't want to do it because he talked about, he was like, yo, getting in that suit is not the same as it was 20, 30 years ago. He was like, it's not the same. He was like, I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be too much because that's a lot. Like, Wesley Snipes is 60 years old now, 61, I think. Yeah. And
it's okay.
He looks good.
You're good.
Wait, how old is Michael Keaton, who got himself in that Batman costume?
He's 60 or 70. Yeah. He's in
And
70s.
what about the man from Ghostbusters who was on the red carpet buff and he's 70 something?
Oh, yes, Ernie Hudson.
Oh, yeah, Ernie Hudson.
Right. So Wesley can do it. Wesley can do it. Look, you with Hugh Jackman, y'all work out together.
I don't think he would do it because of Mahershala.
Okay.
I think he won't.
Well, just in case he get fired, Wesley could do it. I'm just saying.
Because it always sounds like he has a lot of respect for him.
He does, but just in case he get fired, we need a replacement.
Or, I mean, at this point, with all this going on, he might just quit. He might just be like, you know what? No. Or I'm just saying, look, Wesley has 3 Blade films worth of experience, bring him in on the project.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I mean, there are different ways they can do it, but he clearly showed in this film he still has it. Like
he does.
All 3, like those 2 characters with Elektra and Blade, like even with Jennifer Garner, the way she walked in, the way she carried herself, the way she held her, like it's almost like no time had passed the way that they portrayed these characters. Now, I will say for Channing Tatum's character, I think the only thing that bothered me was, and it might have been his costume, it seemed like he was a little stiff in the upper body, like he couldn't really move.
That was on purpose.
Yeah.
No, but it just seemed weird to me.
It was supposed to be weird.
No, I know.
Her costume, that's a comic book accurate costume.
Yeah,
it was. It was.
That was the point.
But when I say watching all of them do the things that they did, especially when they got into the fight with Cassandra's people, I was just like, I could sit here and watch this all day. Like, I'm so sad they weren't in more of the movie. It was great, but oh yeah, we could have had a whole side. We can have a whole side movie about the Void and what they're doing and what happened before they and Johnny.
And why all the Deadpools are gathered in one location.
I mean, all the Lokis are gathered in one location.
Well, yeah,
they are. Now, that's interesting.
Can you imagine the Lokis and the Deadpools going against each other?
That would be fucking hilarious.
Like a gang war.
What if there's a Deadpool? What if there's a Loki pool?
There has to be.
There has to be.
Yeah,
there has to be.
There has to be.
Hey, can you imagine dog pool versus alligator Loki? Well, no, I don't want to imagine that because that would end quickly.
And throw Frog Thor in the mix.
Right.
Yeah, Frog in the mix.
Right. Okay. So Chris Evans, when he shows up,
oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, everybody's thinking, oh, he's back as Cap. He's back as Cap.
That's immediately what I thought.
That's exactly what I thought too.
But I started listening to his voice and his accent. I said, why is he talking with his Boston accent? And it was just a little bit like.
And why is he cursing?
Right. Like, what is going on? And so when Deadpool stood behind him and he was like, he's gonna say it. Avenger, and he was like, flame on.
I'm sorry.
Everybody in the movie theater started screaming. They were like, oh. I was not expecting that. But
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because he's been in an interview. He did an interview a few months ago where somebody asked him about, playing Captain America, or basically playing 2 versions of, playing 2 different characters in Marvel films anyway, and whether or not he would go back to revisit those. And he said something about he would love to go back and play Johnny Storm, if only to give him like a proper ending. He was like, I love that character. He was one of my favorite characters to play. I would welcome any chance to go back and play that character. So you was just basically telling us what you was doing without telling us what you was doing.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
He just had to end it so y'all could stop asking him to come back, because now there's no way to come back from having your skin peeled off.
Yes. So sorry.
Yeah, he literally got stripped down.
Literally.
When I say that is probably one of the grossest things I have seen, and I've seen a lot. I watched The Walking Dead. I watched zombie stuff. I've seen a lot. That was so gross. Right there.
Oh my God, it was so funny. After she did it, he was just standing there. He blinked twice, and then I was like, oh my God. I was like, yo.
No, what was funny was
the fact they let him stand there for a second and blink twice. It was like a cartoon. It's like right before Wile E. Coyote falls, he's like,
right.
I was like, oh, dude.
What was funny was Deadpool saying all the things he said about Cassandra Nova. And he's like, I did not say that. I did not say that.
And then at the
end,
oh my God.
Hold up.
Let me
he was
show
like,
you
look, I got the receipts. Let me play it for you. And then he literally word for word said,
it's so funny. So
I like how Deadpool knew this real quick. Like somehow he knew. He was like, yeah, wow, tell me more. You was just like letting him just like string himself out. Damn.
He set himself up. But then Wolverine going with it like, why did you do that? You got him killed. No, he got him killed.
That's so cute. I guess one of the issues that I did have was Cassandra Nova in the comic book is a pretty cool character, but a lot of her stuff is about Charles, and not having Charles there kind of took away for me, because I didn't really get what her motivation was. Like, I don't know, she just seemed kind of blah to me. Like, I didn't really have any, like, I don't know. I kind of expect a little bit more from Marvel villains, even in the bad Marvel MCU movies. But she just seemed to be kind of blah. Like, she was OP, and and they really couldn't stand it. And the only thing you hear, like, they say, oh, well, she can't kill Wolverine and Deadpool, and she literally can't kill them. And that was the point of them in the movie, really. But anyway,
I don't think she said she couldn't kill Deadpool.
no, I think
she wanted Wolverine.
I can't remember who said it though. Somebody said it in the movie.
She can't kill
that
them.
She can't kill them.
I thought she was. I thought it was like after the guy shot her and they saved her, and they were like, "Now you can't kill us because we saved your life." But somebody else said you can't kill them.
Yeah, someone else said that she can't kill them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why she brought the Deadpool army to slow them down.
Oh no, that was after everything that Casey just mentioned when they saved her life from the Juggernaut helmet. They saved her life, and she was like, "Okay, so because
I'm not gonna kill you, but I'll let Deadpool kill you."
Right? Okay. Yeah. Because she said since they saved her, that was their grace. She wouldn't be the one to kill her.
Mm-hmm. But why hadn't she killed him up until that point?
Because she wanted Wolverine, and they haven't done anything yet.
Remember, she went inside his mind.
They got away from her the first time before that he could for her to kill. She wasn't going to kill Wolverine.
I got it, because one, that was the only Wolverine that's ever been there.
Right, we gonna keep it.
And two, she's not gonna kill Deadpool because of the army of Deadpools. So she probably has tried to kill them before and wasn't successful because of the way he regenerates.
Yeah, remember he blew himself up.
Because he'll just come back.
Oh,
that's disgusting. However, I loved her in this role, and I liked what she did with the character. And my favorite parts, which was also disgusting, was when she did enter people's brains, because her fingers get all elongated and stuff,
and the fingers coming through the eyes.
Oh, yes.
Somebody gonna do that at Dragon Con, right? Somebody's gonna have that. There's gonna be a shit ton
of people doing that. Yeah. It reminded me a little bit of the Goblin Queen episode of X-Men 97 when Rogue and Magneto were like intertwined in each other.
It's like, I can't unsee that.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was like, bruh, she's literally massaging your brain.
When she was in Paradox's head, she was like, "Oh, that was just nasty."
Right.
She was like, "Ugh."
Okay, Anthony. So since you brought up Paradox,
okay, hold on. That my other issue is Paradox. How is this dude just doing whatever he wants to do, and no one in the TVA is like, "Y'all need to check on this dude"? Like,
okay, so that I
kind of had a problem with that.
That's real.
Yeah. I think that's the only issue I had, and the only thing that I can think of as far as why he didn't have as many consequences of what he was doing was, again, this part of the story and how it involved the TVA. It was kind of contained based on what we know from Loki. If they had done anything else, I think they would have had to open that part of the storyline up a little bit more. And I think it would have just, it would have.
And people need to have watched the show. So they intentionally didn't.
And let's go with the flip side of things. Let's leave that part out. What if it's just a section of work? Because you know this from any job that anyone has. There's a group of people, they got together, they don't do anything. And that's what's happening. Everyone thought that they were doing their job. They were doing their job, but in secret, they were building a machine on the side. Who's paying attention to that? No one knows about this machine being built.
Well, see,
They're thinking that they're doing their job down there in section 507.
okay, well, see, on that end,
I'm just going to say like that. There's different sections. There's different supervisors.
Yeah, but somebody had to notice all those reset charges missing.
No, because Deadpool said when he had said, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the head, whoever," and then remember he was like, "Oh, so nobody knows about this."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because no one's paying. They're thinking you're doing your job. They're thinking, let's call them Section 507. They're thinking Section 507 is doing what they want. They're doing the right thing. Their reports are very concise, clear. You know what I'm saying? No one is checking inventory until someone say that you need to check inventory.
But see, I do have a small problem with that, because if you, and again, this does have to tie into Loki because we are talking about the TVA. The TVA damn near blew itself up in season 2 of Loki. And I know we haven't talked about it yet, but we got to kind of talk about it a little bit in this. The TVA damn near blew itself up. You would think after all of the stuff that they went through to keep the sacred timeline intact and for Loki to sacrifice himself the way that he did, you would think that somebody would be paying more attention to what the fuck is going on in other levels of the TVA, because apparently they keep track of what's going on in the world. So why wouldn't they keep track of Paradox and what he's doing?
Who's in charge?
Your girl, B-15.
Okay, who else? Because she's doing a perfect job. But who else is in charge?
Morbius.
She is trying.
No, he's not, because she said he went back home.
B-15 is running a whole corporation. It's just one floor that's messing up.
Yeah, and it's like, plus
to go check.
Renslayer would have known.
Renslayer would have known.
Renslayer would have known.
Well, she knows.
Plus, we don't know exactly what stage of rebuild that the TVA was in when this is happening. I mean, they could be in a stage where they're like still trying to get shit right, and there's other people down there who are like, well, they're not paying any attention to us. We're gonna do what the fuck we want to do. Fuck them. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what Paradox was doing. He's like, well, they're not really paying attention to us, so I'm just gonna do what the fuck I want to do. So it's like they're probably over there trying to make sure that everything is set at the main branch. That these, the people over here in Schenectady, that they have no idea what the hell that office is doing. They're over there shooting squirrels and shit. They have no idea what the hell's going on.
And when they come to visit, they are doing the right thing. However, when people are away, that group of people who said we're going to work together on this, they're creating the machine.
Right.
So yeah, I think any other explanation, they would have had to have opened up the story a little bit more, and I think that would have kind of defeated the purpose of I think it would have watered down the rest of the Deadpool and Wolverine story.
It would have, because you just know it's a rogue set of people working at an office who decided to go rogue and do their own thing.
Yeah, it was just an easy story to write. Like, they don't have to explain anything. They just, oh yeah, he's just doing this.
But when we watch Loki, everything we watch, someone is doing something they're not supposed to do. It happens. Basically. I mean, literally, it happens to the point where it endangers others.
Mm-hmm. They're in some point in time where they're not supposed to be, and doing some bullshit that's going to destroy the timeline. It's like there's somebody doing some bullshit. It's like that's the whole point of Loki. That's the whole point of the series, season 1 and season 2. Someone's somewhere doing shit they ain't supposed to be doing, and they get ready to wreck shit.
But like Hanako said, this isn't Loki. Like we're not getting Loki again. It's Deadpool versus Wolverine. So they just have a simple,
right. So you really got to be paying attention to all that. Just know that he's a douchebag and he's getting ready to try to destroy time.
It's a fucked up company. It's not perfect.
So, okay, maybe we have our answer in the way that the film starts, because Paradox went looking for Wade to bring him to, the TVA. And he was like, okay, well, your timeline is ending. So basically, we need you to do what needs to be done to go ahead and end your timelines, and we can do this other stuff. He may have been planning to use Deadpool to keep the other TVA people off his back, like he could still operate in secret. But if Deadpool is out here doing stuff on the timeline, if he's out here causing chaos, if he's out here doing whatever it was that Paradox wanted him, maybe that would have been enough to keep the TVA busy, and he could have continued doing what he needed to do. What he just froze. What he wasn't anticipating was Deadpool actually giving a fuck enough to say, no, you are not about to kill my people. Like, he's thinking, okay, Deadpool, yeah, he has these few friends, but he wants to be a hero. He wants to be an Avenger. We saw that at the beginning of the movie. Deadpool found his way to Earth. What was it? Earth 616? Was talking to Happy, and he was like, I want to be an Avenger. I want to be a hero. I want to matter. And so Paradox is sitting here using all of those little catchphrases and those keywords to kind of reel him in. He was like, yeah, you know what? Your world is dying and your people will be gone. But you know what? You can go out here and do this other stuff and become an actual hero. You can become worthy of, something.
Yeah, but
to be an Avenger.
But he told him your timeline, it usually takes about 10,000 years. And I just want to speed up the process.
Mm-hmm.
So
but see, that's what I'm saying.
They weren't going to die.
I think he was trying to use Deadpool maybe to kind of,
No, he was probably going to be okay with the 2,000 years. However, he was like, I'm trying to cut the cord now because I'm tired of watching these people.
Right, like 72 hours. That's what you got.
Yeah, like I'm cutting the cord now.
Right. Like you tell them, it usually takes 10,000 years, but we're going to do it in 72 hours. The fuck? Like, I ain't even had a chance to win my girl back. That's in Wade's head, because aside from wanting to be a hero, what is the most important thing to Wade Wilson? Vanessa. Period. So now you're going to tell him that she's about to die and he's supposed to be okay with that? And he's supposed to do whatever it is you want him to do? Nah, you got the wrong Deadpool. You might could have pulled one of those other Deadpools out of the void who would have been like, okay, whatever. Not this Deadpool. Not this one. No. But that's probably what he was trying to do. Use Deadpool as a distraction.
Or he could have been using him to. He's probably getting him because he sent him to get that new suit where he got felt up constantly by that creepy looking ass Taylor. I was like, yo, that's not okay. But
that's Deadpool getting a taste of his own medicine. Come on, for anything
he didn't necessarily mind
not
either.
Okay, but for a Deadpool movie, that's kind of right on brand.
It's on brand, yeah, and just like the. But I think that it's possible that he was trying to get Deadpool to kill the anchor beings in other universes so that he could expedite their extermination too, because they went into a whole explanation of what anchor beings are and what anchor heroes are in universes, and that's why one of the reasons why the Wolverine that he picked was a bad choice, why he's a drunk, is because he basically destroyed his universe by letting the X-Men get killed. So it's like Deadpool is such an artist of deceit, not deceit, destruction. He's such a beacon of destruction that anywhere he goes, he's going to cause something. He's going to fuck something up. So that's probably why he wanted Deadpool on his side. He was like, okay, I need you to do this, and he, like you said, he wasn't expecting him to give a fuck and to want to do something right. He just wanted him to be the master of destruction that he was. But that's not what we got.
Yeah, no, we got a hero Deadpool. Yay. It was strange though. But Deadpool, when he hears Paradox's plan, like you said, Anthony, he takes one of the TemPads and he starts going to different worlds. Once he figures out what the TemPad can do, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go find a Wolverine to bring back and put in this timeline. Not, of course, he doesn't know how these things work, so he doesn't realize that that's not something that the TVA generally allows. I mean, we saw this in Loki. But he goes and he finds all of these different versions of Wolverine, which is where we saw the Henry Cavill. What did he call him? Cavalry.
Cavalry.
And the first was it the first one I think we saw, the one that looked like a child.
Of the comic book accurate.
Yeah,
comic accurate
Wolverine.
I really thought that's the one they were going to use Daniel Radcliffe for, because Daniel Radcliffe is only like 5'5", 5'6", and I think isn't Wolverine about that size in the
He's
comics?
like 5'3", 5'4".
Yeah,
Oh, he's even shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a cannonball basically.
Right. Okay. But that was funny. We got to see all these different versions of Wolverine, and there was one where he had on a specific yellow and tan costume. He was like, "Hey, isn't that the costume that you fought the Hulk in?" And he pulled out his claws, and you see the Hulk in the reflection, and he turns around and starts to say something smart. And basically, the Hulk did the same thing to him that he did to Thor in the Avengers movie. And I was just like, okay, so we got the Hulk too. Any other Avengers gonna show up? And then of course, Thor. We had the Thor cameo, him crying over Deadpool's body. I was just like, okay, who else is showing up? There's the moment in the car where Deadpool is pretending like he's Spider-Man, and I was like, is he gonna show up too? Like,
right.
At this point, I was just looking for any other cameos. I was like, okay, who else is gonna show up?
It's like in Happy's office, there was the picture of Tony and Peter where he's holding the award upside down, but the mask is in front of Peter.
Yes, the mask that Peter had on in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Yes, the mask Peter had on.
But they have a deal with Disney where they can only use Peter a certain number of times, so they can't because they have to save him for other stuff.
Yeah,
that was
like this,
and that was really
Spider-Man
smart how
movie.
they did that. That was smart as hell.
It was smart using Peter's mask in front of people.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about these fight scenes, because the two major fights that Wolverine and Deadpool get into, oh my God, these are like heavy artillery, like full on. What was it? They both said, let's give the people what they want. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, he's like, get your special socks, nerd.
So which one was everyone's favorite? The Void or
the Deadpool one? But the
car?
The one where they followed the Deadpools. That was my favorite.
No, I'm sorry. Now they're fighting each other.
Deadpool
them two together.
I liked him in the car. That was funny.
Yeah, the car one. Yeah,
the car was hilarious.
Shout out to Honda Odyssey for having a van that totally fucks.
That was hilarious. And then at the end, when he had him tied up and all in the seatbelt. I said, "Oh my God, that's how you get him to shut up."
But to start the fight, though, but Wolverine was just so mean. Like, I felt that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Telling him like he's gonna be.
He was a douchebag.
I was like, "What's about to happen here?"
He didn't matter.
He didn't matter. I was like, "Is Deadpool about to cry or try to stab him in his head?" I wasn't sure what's about to happen, but I love. He said, "We about to fight."
I'm gonna fight you. No. He was calm as fuck. He said, "I'm gonna fight you now."
Fight you now.
He was like, "How you gonna fight?" He was like, "Whack!" He was like, "The fuck." And then I was mad because when we were watching the movie, Hanako said that they had like the greatest showman, like everyone's gonna play. I was like, oh, that's gonna be the first fight.
Yeah.
And they played like 2 seconds of it. And I was like, bruh.
Yeah.
But they did play You're the One That I Want through the whole fight, which is like an odd choice for the background music for a fight scene.
But all their music was really good. Like,
music was outstanding in this.
It gave a great balance to me.
Yeah.
I was singing along to all the songs. Like, okay.
Well, see, on the way up to the movie theater, I listened to the soundtrack. I was like, okay, let me just listen to the soundtrack and see what songs, because Deadpool movies always have good soundtracks. Mm-hmm. And as I'm going up and I'm listening to the different songs, I'm visually in my head guessing which characters these songs are going to feature in, because I was like, oh, this movie is about to be some shit just based on the soundtrack.
Right.
Like, oh, this about to be some fuckery.
And then to see where they placed everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially Like a Prayer.
Yeah.
I love
saw,
that version. Like that the choir was on fucking point. I was like, oh, that gave me chills. Like the whole fight when they busted out the back of the bus and the choir was like at its crescendo, I was just like, oh. Ooh.
And it was like a remix version of Like a Prayer. It was still the same version, but it had like maybe a hip hop type beat behind it. But I was like, oh, I actually like this. And somebody posted on Facebook, they were like, Deadpool and Wolverine shows exactly why music is important to a movie.
Yeah.
Like, especially like a lot of times I don't really hear scores in the background. Like I'll hear it in certain scenes, but it's like I'm paying so much attention to what's going on in the scene that I don't hear like if it's because instrumental music, a lot of us use it for background noise. So it's kind of like when you hear it, it just kind of fades into your psyche. This one, a lot of good 80s music, a lot of a lot of music from our childhoods. We're all Gen X. Lots of good music from our childhood. And it's like you can't help but get into it because you're singing it and you're watching the action and they're fighting and you can like it's literally like you got a dance battle on the screen and you're dancing in your seats. It was just great. It was just great. The fight.
Yeah, the choice of using bring them out when they went to fight the other mutants. I was like, oh, that was dope. Especially when the music stopped and Wolverine came out the back, and then they remixed it. That shit, I was like, okay, let's go.
Yes, because at that point, I didn't even think about the fact that Wolverine wasn't with them because the last time we had seen him before they left was when he was out by the fire. He was having the talk with X-23, and he said that thing about I'm not the man you think I am.
Wrong guy.
Said, you never were. But we never heard the last part of her sentence until he shows up. And I was just sitting here looking. I was just like, okay, we got Blade, we got Elektra, we got Deadpool, we got X-23. I was like, okay, they about to kick some ass. Like I was looking at that scene and it was kind of reminding me of when Shang-Chi and them were going to Talo in the car. I was kind of reminded of that. I was like, okay, but they're about to kick some ass. They get out the car and they do the little superhero poses. I'm like, okay, it's about to be on. And then, like you said, music stopped. All of a sudden, the trunk comes open. I was like, who? It took me a minute. I was like, who is that? And then I was like, oh, duh, it's Wolverine. He snuck in the back, which adamantium skeleton. How you didn't realize your car was sitting a little heavy on the back?
Correct.
But that fight,
a little confused about that, but that's okay.
I know it's okay. We'll overlook it.
I'll give them that.
He's there. The whole crew is there.
Okay, that minivan or whatever is not that big. Okay, I'm just saying.
But it went through a lot and still kept on ticking, though.
I'm saying, shout out to the Honda Odyssey, getting a whole lot of people going to buy a Honda Odyssey after that. But like, damn, I could drive through Ant-Man's hands and I could drive through fire and that motherfucker still go. Like, damn, I could have two superheroes fighting, trying to kill each other inside of it and breaking windows and shit, and it still drives.
Yeah,
like damn, the radio can play after getting
got a whole bunch of seatbelts,
whole bunch of long ass seatbelts,
seatbelt.
I mean. Deadpool wrapped it around Logan's head, then climbed over and came down through the sunroof when still had plenty of slack to like pull. I was like, that's damn. Like who are you fastening in? Like you just fastening everybody and just
with one belt
across the seat. One long ass
that's for that was a minivan, so that's for the mamas who have 3 car seats in the back and you don't feel like doing each one individually. You just take that one seat belt, you call all the way across. There you go. But so keeping on with the humorous stuff, because we are there is a little bit of seriousness in this movie, just a little bit, but right now talking about Channing Tatum and that damn accent.
Oh my God. I was I was
Even
I
Deadpool
was
was like, "What are you
You
saying?
say?
What are you
Who's your dialogue coach?
saying?"
coach, the minions.
But you know what? I think that was the thing that I was missing in Wolverine Origins when Taylor Kitsch was doing Gambit. I love his version of Gambit in that one, but the accent wasn't quite right.
Right.
Because, I mean, even in X-Men 97, when we were talking about it, like Remy LeBeau's accent is very thick. And you have to kind of be familiar with him to actually understand what he's saying. The way Channing did that accent in this one, I was like, this is the Remy LeBeau that I hear in my, like, this was perfect to me.
Yeah.
The Deadpool say, I think we're missing some very important exposition.
We're some very important plot points here. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he remind me of that character in Waterboy who was saying, "Eliminate a nominee." I was like, that's thick
What
accent.
was the movie where Brad Pitt had the accent? Was that
He
Snap?
mentioned it. Yeah, he mentioned
Joe
it in this
Black.
movie.
Snatch?
Yeah, he did. He
No,
did say
no,
something
Snatch.
like,
No, he had a thick ass
Oh.
accent in Snatch.
yeah.
Like you had no idea what
Deadpool
the
Is
said
fuck he
that
that
the
was
one where
too.
he
saying.
was talking patois?
No,
Joe
that's the
Black.
one. No, that's Meet Joe Black.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
No,
But
no,
yeah,
that's the one where he was
Deadpool
speaking
mentioned
like
it
a
too.
brogue. It was
He
like a
did?
thick ass
Yeah, he
brogue.
he
did.
did.
He mentioned like what you in Snatch, or he said something because I was like, okay, that refers to that movie where you didn't understand what was happening. But I loved it, even though it wasn't done. This is just a coincidence. It's just cool that after watching X-Men 97 and what we have gone through with Gambit dying.
Right.
Spoilers.
Oh shit. So sorry.
Huh?
Well, damn, you should have watched it by now.
Yeah, he's saying spoilers. We've already talked about that
I know,
show.
we already
Yeah.
talked about it.
And clearly, you should have seen this by now. However, just the connection of actually seeing him on screen, even though we know Tatum was trying to get this role, but then also dealing with Gambit on X-Men 97. So like a person who's not like a fan, but a fan, like I forgot about Gambit because we haven't seen him. But in the origin movie for like 10 seconds.
Right.
Right.
So now we got him like twice in 1 year. I love it.
Yeah.
I
Shout
did too.
out to Chang. Shout out to Chang tend to being really self-aware about his movie not existing, where he was always saying he kept saying, "Yeah, I don't even know who I am. I don't even know my background. I don't even know where I come from." It's like I was like, damn, bro.
Oh.
Like he was just so self-aware that he doesn't have a backstory, like he doesn't have a movie to pull from. But like the fight choreography for that Channing Tatum had was on point. Like I was mad as fuck that we didn't get that movie now because I'm like he probably could have killed it. He probably would have killed that shit.
Right.
Even
And
though
the
with that,
thing, the crazy thing is, I think for him, Gambit was as much of a passion project as Deadpool is for Ryan Reynolds. Like Channing has been trying to get that movie made for years. I don't know if he'll get a chance in the MCU. I don't know if they even have anywhere to put him unless they bring the X-Men, redo the X-Men and they can bring him out then. But I mean, also Channing is kind of getting up
Might
there.
have been his only chance.
They do it and they
so
have
they
Rogue,
really
depending on how old Rogue is.
right.
So
they'll make her a teenager again.
No, we're not gonna have.
no.
We're not gonna have that conversation again about these grooming men in the X-Men. But okay, we got to talk a little bit about the dark side of the movie. So the film, the reason why Deadpool's branch of his universe is disappearing is because his anchor character died, and it was Logan, from all the X-Men movies that we knew of, and Logan, when he sacrificed himself for X-23. That was the catalyst for Deadpool's world dying. So what we find out is, one of the things that has been consistent about Wolverine in the X-Men films, in the Wolverine films, was always his reticence at being part of a team. He just always made it seem like he didn't want to be a part of the team. And then all of a sudden, here he is fighting alongside the X-Men. he was an X-Man, but he wasn't an X-Man, or unless that's what he was trying to get across. And so in his world, he left and went to a bar to hang out, get drunk, and he said the humans attacked the mutants. So I'm guessing this is similar to what happened in X-Men 97, where Bolivar Trask and all this stuff with the Sentinels.
FOH.
The Friends of Humanity. Yeah.
So they killed all of the X-Men. Now, that is a little I still feel like it's unbelievable, because how in the hell do you kill all the X-Men? You are at the mansion where literally all of them live, and you kill.
If they had enough Sentinel technology, it wouldn't be too difficult.
Well, yeah, but see, I guess that's my question, because he doesn't really say that Sentinels were involved. He just said the humans. So I guess they kind of left that open.
I wasn't saying the Sentinels did it, but they, just like in X-Men 97, they had Sentinel technology.
Okay.
Because you can't.
Yeah, because I always keep forgetting that the Sentinels did show up in the X-Men First Class movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I always forget that. So okay, that does make sense. But,
it's like you kind of have to draw that line with humans and Sentinels, because humans by themselves can't do shit to a mutant. It's like they're going to have to need something to help them, give them an advantage of some sort. It's just like you saw in Days of Future Past, where they had the Sentinels that adapted to all the mutants' powers and pretty much wiped them out.
Yeah.
It's like even the Omega level mutants, it's like they didn't stand a chance against that thing. Like it literally just figured out their moves and countered them effectively. So I mean, there's no shortage of really smart humans who can figure out ways to get rid of mutants. Once they know their powers, they can figure out the counter to that power and execute it that way and throw it that way. So it's like,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I was about to trigger Mike by talking about somebody else who who can steal powers.
I swear to.
It just came to my mind. You
can't. Don't do that, because I just watched the Thunderbolts. Something about the Thunderbolts where her ass is in that shit too. And no, damn it, no, come on now, focus. No, bad Hanukkah.
I'm sorry. You just
kind of. Who are we talking about?
No,
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Just think Black Widow. I'll tell you later. Okay.
Moving on.
But anyway, moving on. So basically what happened was Wolverine comes back. He finds all of the X-Men dead. And he goes ballistic because he wasn't there to help them. He wasn't there to save them. He has tremendous survivor's guilt, which is why he's wearing the yellow and blue suit, because this is the suit that Scott always tried to get him to wear, and he would refuse to wear it. And so now he's wearing it as kind of like a reminder to him of what he didn't do or how he failed them. Just because he didn't want to admit that he was a part of the team, but it's obvious he loved them. He cared about them. He felt, like I said, tremendous guilt. And apparently in his anguish and his anger, he also killed some humans. So, this is a part of Wolverine that I think we've seen in other movies, because when, humans are attacking or when they're trying to kill him, we do see that he has no hesitation of killing people. But he was also, apparently the implication in this film was he was also killing innocent humans, which is so unlike any version of Logan and Wolverine we've seen. So the film is really about Deadpool and Wolverine kind of seeing the weaknesses in each other and lifting each other up, helping each other to get through it, helping each other to heal. And of course, we're doing it in only the way we can do a Deadpool movie. There's a lot of sexual innuendos. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of, Wolverine and Deadpool can't die. at least not in the ways that they were fighting. So we just see a lot of them killing each other, regenerating, and just going at it again. So again,
except for Nice Pool, he couldn't regenerate.
Yes.
Poor Nice Pool.
Poor Nice Pool.
Human Shield.
Deadpool killed him.
Shield. We already call him Shield Pool because he was basically that's
you know
basically
what? You're going to hell.
And then the way Wolverine walked past with Dog Pool and was like, and they was like, "Don't
hold your fire."
Shoot. He's like, mm-hmm. But okay, and then here's the funny thing about Nice Pool. So I just found out the whole origin of that character, because if you look in the credits, it says that Nice Pool is played by Gordon Reynolds. Gordon Reynolds is a faux twin of Ryan Reynolds. It's a character that Ryan Reynolds came up with a few years back for I forgot what reason, but that's supposed to be like his evil twin. Not a real twin. It is a character that he made. He gave it its own persona. He was like, yeah, this is my evil twin, and da 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 da. So in the film, that's how that particular character is credited, as Gordon Reynolds instead of Ryan Reynolds. I was like, you know what? Ryan Reynolds, I think, has way too much time on his hands to be coming up with some of the shit that he comes up with. But at the same time, I'm just like, again, thoroughly entertained, because I think he was one of the writers for this movie. I'm just entertained. I just don't understand, like, how you come up with half of this stuff that's in there. Like, this, like, none of this stuff, the stuff that happened in this movie, was this in the comics anywhere? I know that Deadpool and Wolverine do team up in the comics sometimes. Was any of this part of the story that you guys can recall?
No.
Okay.
I mean, he has fought against himself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are instances where he fights like himself. I don't think he's come across Cassandra Nova though. I don't think that's part. I don't think he's ever done that.
Okay.
No.
Ryan talks about how, you know, they had a movie in play, and they were going to their last pitch of the movie, and that's when he got the call from Hugh Jackman that says, "Okay, I'm ready. I can do it." Okay. And they were like, "Oh shit!" But we about to walk into a meeting. So he said they went in that meeting and they create something. It probably changed from what they told them, but they create something on the fly to involve Hugh Jackman.
Okay. And it really,
it was like last minute.
It didn't matter what they said anyway, because all they had to say was Hugh's in. Like,
yeah, so they created like what that would created what that would look like. Because right. Even talked about the name was Deadpool and Friend. Oh. And that got spoiled, and people, super fans, hated it. So he was like, they're about to send stuff off for Super Bowl. They already sent stuff off on Super Bowl. And he went in another meeting, was like, we got to change the title. We got to change the title.
Okay.
So he's a last minute, like, okay, we can make this work.
I mean,
just like kudos to Madonna. She don't license her music, but they convinced her to.
I mean, it's almost,
a lot they did in this movie like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it's almost like
he's a good talker.
Yeah,
he is.
He really is.
Because Hugh Jackman was done with Wolverine.
Yep,
done. And I remember watching that because that was last Super Bowl. I remember watching the commercial, and he was sitting there, and then Hugh Jackman walked past, and I just looked, and I was looking at my TV like, what is happening? And when he was like,
I lost my shit.
You want to play Wolverine again? Sure, Ryan. Okay. I was like, what is going on? What did I just like? Everybody went nuts. Like, oh my God, is this happening? Is this happening? And I mean, Deadpool says it in the film. He was like, I've been waiting for this team up for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
Us too.
Mm-hmm. Me
the
too.
rest of us too.
Even all the way back to the first one. Remember, he had Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's face over his messed up face originally.
Yeah.
Even back to that trash of a movie, Wolverine Origins.
Oh yeah, they did.
They had their
Deadpool
first
wrong.
fight.
Yeah, they did him wrong.
I can't believe they did that shit.
But I'm glad he got redemption from that because they really did
Yeah.
Deadpool wrong on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first part of the film, I loved Wade Wilson. Like the fact that he couldn't shut up talking, the whole sword thing, that little sword scene, that's like one of my favorites. Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes because I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I love Little Knife.
Little baby knife.
That was
no, but I love too when Deadpool was pulling out the swords and the knife off of Wolverine because he's like, you can't fight like this.
Oh,
he was going to get Sabretooth. No, let me get you.
Oh my God. I love how he's building up. He's like, oh, everybody's been waiting on this fight. He's like, okay, go in there, knock him down, ground pound, nah. Then he just runs past them, shoop.
4 seconds.
It was over.
It falls off.
And it was over. I was like, really?
Okay.
But I mean
that reminds me so much of when nerds talk on the internet and they say who would win in a fight versus like da da versus da da, and they're like, oh, that should be over in a second. They're like, no, they'd be fighting for it. They'll be fighting for all this because they heal da, and they're like, no, Wolverine will cut his head off in a second, and that's what it reminded me.
What happened?
Mm-hmm. So, but oh yeah. All of these fights were fun. Even the short little 4-second fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth, that was fun too. Because I was like, you know what? That's a lot of aggression that that Logan had to get out because I can't even remember. Like, does he remember that he doesn't remember that Sabretooth is his brother.
No, he didn't know. He just like Wade had to tell him.
Yeah, that's what I
thought. That's your brother.
Didn't matter. Don't.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
he did not care.
Right. And then it was fun seeing the Juggernaut, even though that wasn't the same actor.
Wasn't Vinnie Jones, no.
Yeah, Vinnie Jones said they couldn't pay me enough to put that suit back on yet.
I don't blame him. He was the worst Juggernaut ever. His portrayal of Juggernaut was terrible. Like, that's the worst Juggernaut ever.
Not the worst ever.
That was his fault. Wasn't it Bryan Singer?
Yeah, it's Bryan Singer's fault because the costume sucked, and it's like Vinnie Jones was nowhere near big enough to be Juggernaut, and it's like.
But the guy who was Juggernaut in this one was smaller. I at least that's the way it looked to me.
Yeah. I mean, he's about the same size as Vinnie Jones was when he portrayed him, but it's like he's not big enough. It's just like if you remember when you look at Deadpool 2 and you see Juggernaut in there, that's how Juggernaut needs to look. Like that's like that's the size that he is in the comics. It's like he's huge. He's not like a decently built guy. He's fucking.
They should have got the guy who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones.
That's why this one's in the void because he kind of sucks.
Huh?
That's why he's in the void. He shouldn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. That's why that version's in the void because he's all skinny and shit. It's like you ain't gaining weight. Pzzz, to the void with you.
But so Pyro being a turncoat, that's exactly on brand for him.
Yes.
Because he's always turning on people. But it was nice to see him for more than a few seconds because I think once he left them in that first film, we didn't really see that much of him.
Nope.
Afterwards, like we see him a little bit here, a scene or two there, and that was it.
After Bobby schooled him, he should have stayed in school. We haven't seen heard from him.
Yeah. And
also shout out to Johnny Storm picking the exact wrong person to use his powers on. I was like Susie, he was just like, just give me that. And I was like, doop.
We were sitting there like, dude, no.
Like you could have shot at Toad. Like shooting at Toad would have gave you a better result
than being in the movie. And Toad got picked off pretty quick too. I think was it Gambit that killed him? I think it was Gambit.
I can't think.
But yeah.
Maybe Blade.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I think it was Blade. I think it was Blade. But
Oh, because he grabbed his tongue.
Oh yeah.
And pulled him.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But seeing all of them fight together, like I said, give me a movie about the Void and this group of characters. If you can get Chris Evans back to play Johnny Storm,
He
huh?
He did.
No, that's what I'm saying. Give me a movie about the Void, like how they all got there, what they were doing to plan to get Cassandra. Please tell me how the fuck Ant-Man got there and why is his skeleton being used as.
But that was the big Ant-Man. It wasn't even the little one. It was the big Ant-Man. How he get there?
Deadpool talking about Paul Rudd finally
aged.
But then how Scarlet Witch statue is in the hideout?
Yep.
Like where'd that come from?
Yeah, from the palace, wherever she was.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Wendigo Mountain.
Yeah.
The temple.
I missed that.
I have a feeling rumors. Well, I'm not. I don't do theories. But there's a rumor that the Void is going to be Battle World for Secret Wars.
Yeah, it is. That's what everyone keeps saying. Yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be dope.
So
I mean, it's perfect. It already has like
again.
enough sections of it.
We might see some of them again.
Okay.
The ones who aren't dead.
Yeah, the ones that get eaten by a lion.
Well, yeah. Yeah. But Peter. Nice to see Peter back. And the funny thing about Peter being the anchor person for all the Deadpools.
That's awesome.
Everyone has a Peter.
Everyone has a Peter.
Peter.
Rich, that sounds so weird when we say it like that.
Everyone has a Peter.
I mean, I have a Peter.
It's kind of
that Deadpool is with me. They immediately stopped.
Yeah. Shout out to B15 finding their groove back. I was like,
yeah, I love it.
What's up with this?
You was happy to see Peter.
Yeah,
like, you look good in that.
You look good.
Let me tell you, I was like, because the way she was looking at him, she was undressing him with her eyes, and I was just like, where is going?
Yeah, because it wasn't Paradox saying, "What is happening here?
Yeah,
like, what is going on?"
Right.
Let's get back on the script here.
But there was a lot of that in this movie. The guy who worked for Paradox with the coffee cup, who was looking at Wade when he came out in that sexy new suit. He was like,
"Oh, how he looked at Wolverine."
He looked at Wolverine when he came out with his shirt off.
So let me tell you, when his shirt came off in that end scene where they were trying to dismantle the machine, and of course Madonna is playing, and you've got all this stuff happening, and the shirt is breaking off. When Deadpool starts looking at Wolverine like, why Mike turn to me and look at me with the same thing? Like, he's being purposefully gratuitous. It would be rude of me not to like lean into that. Don't you think?
That was some hard work. Now, first I questioned if it was CGI, but when I read that he worked out, ate a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
And stuff. And,
I don't know. I eat plenty of chicken. I don't necessarily like that.
I'm like, Mike,
you're missing the working out part.
I'm sorry. Let me finish. Doubt.
I mean, it might be the fact that I like my chicken breaded with honey mustard, but that's not
gonna work.
Breaded and fried.
So I was
fried.
Exactly breaded fried with honey mustard.
Hugh Jackman is 54.
Oh, really? We're close in age. Wait, Mike,
double check.
Wait, Mike, aren't you 54?
I'm 53. Quit giving me years. What the hell? I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to stay down where I am as long as I can.
I'm so sorry.
Technically speaking, he only gave you 6 months.
He's 55.
True indeed. He's 55.
So you got some time.
That's even worse.
He turns 56 in October.
That's even worse.
That's even worse. Jesus Christ.
He looked good. So Mike was turning around looking at me like, I know you're looking at him. I'm like, yes, I am, because he worked hard for that, and I'm going to appreciate it as long as I can.
They took the shirt off for a reason. I mean, we needed to see it.
And walked around that corner like everybody in that room was looking at him like
everybody.
I'm
Everybody.
imagining all the female Wolverine fans who got everything they wanted in that one scene. They got him with the cowl on, and they got him with his shirt off, and they're like, "Yep, that checks all the boxes."
Check,
Yeah.
check.
Now that is definitely gonna be a cosplay for somebody.
Yeah.
100%.
Let me
100%.
say I'm here for it. Dragon Con is in like 30 days. I'm here for it. I will be very appreciative, because they're working hard to make sure that cosplay is movie accurate.
Yes.
I will be there to appreciate
I'm
all of the hard work.
gonna just be happy to see all of the variations that people come up with, because now you can literally come up with anything. I mean,
Yeah.
people already
can.
were anyway coming up with different versions,
Right.
but now they have so many other references
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
they can play off of. Oh, that's gonna
Because
be
there's
Other
never a
Shit,
Deadpool
shortage
pose.
of Deadpools at Dragon Con. Never.
I'm thinking about doing a Deadpool one. Shit, I'm like
Yeah.
looking. I'm
You
really
can
looking into it
cross
about it.
genres.
Yeah.
You see a Deadpool stormtrooper.
I mean, yeah. But it was so
I
funny
can
because
be I can be a Deadpool Barbie. I mean,
when all of the Deadpools showed up and I was just looking, I
That
was
was really
like,
cool.
oh, it's across the Spider-Verse
I say
again.
Deadpool Barbie.
Okay, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it felt like. I was like, oh, look at all the Deadpools. Oh, I've never seen that Deadpool before. Oh, I've never seen that one before. Yeah. I'm ready for it. Like I said, Dragon Con is in a month. I'm ready because there are some people out there like, okay, I think
I should be in town.
your ass better be in town.
Promises.
I
Those people
should
like
be in town.
I still got time to make one more costume. Yeah.
I believe it when I see it.
But and there were so many from this film, not just the Wolverines or the all the Deadpools. I mean, you got TVA people. Not now the TVA, let me tell you. The TVA soldiers or the TVA officers, you would think
they know how to fight.
Not even that. Because we saw in Loki that they don't know how to fucking fight.
No,
You would
so
think that
Deadpool
going
just
after
completely destroyed them.
Yeah, because Sylvie beat that ass in Loki, so they can't fight.
Loki beat that ass in Loki. So if you know what Deadpool is capable of, for you to come at him the way you did and see all the destruction he's doing and you still talking smack, like
I wouldn't. I'll go back through the door again. I'm on lunch break.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, we couldn't find him.
Look at the time. Gotta go.
I don't know where he is.
There's a little known comic book called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
I think I have that. I think I have that run.
That's what I sent you and asked if it was real.
Yeah,
I saw that video.
Oh, yeah, it's real. It's really good. I think I actually have that run.
Wow.
It's incredible. I love it. I love
he
that.
He kills everybody.
He kills everybody.
In the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And then goes into the writer's room, right?
Yeah, it goes to the writer's room.
He's like, I'm not done yet.
They were like writing it or something.
Issue.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
so maybe he is Marvel Jesus. He can't be killed.
He literally can't. He's an immortal.
Even Xavier can kill him?
Xavier in the comic book, Xavier entered his mind and it's so fucked up. Xavier died. He had a stroke and died.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I have the Deadpool versus Thanos
him and Wanda. Him and Wanda were kind of similar because he died because of Wanda's mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At least in Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I have the Deadpool versus Thanos run where Thanos he's cursed to like be immortal because he's trying to Deadpool and Thanos are battling for death to impress death, and death is personified as a woman, and like Death's in love with Deadpool, but Thanos is jealous, so he made it so that Deadpool couldn't die, so they couldn't be together. And it's like a 5 comic run, and it's really fucking funny.
Wow.
Okay.
It's
interesting.
Good to know.
It is.
Like so
He
many
killed Silver
movies.
Surfer. I mean, he's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, the part where he kills Spider-Man in that run is kind of sad though.
In the one where he kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
That's pretty. It's kind of sad. I was like,
Kill Spider-Man. What?
He kills them off.
He
Was
killed
he-
everybody.
I can't remember why he started.
He might have been bored.
It's something about him being self-aware. I think, and I gotta go back and read it, but I think it's him knowing that this wasn't real. So he was just like, you know what, fuck it.
It's gonna kill everything, and then
He
Go kill
exits
the
the
rider.
comic, he goes through the fourth wall.
wall, and then
Comes out and
Okay.
kills everybody.
Into the writer's room.
Wow.
Okay,
It's like She-Hulk.
that's a little dark.
It is.
A little.
Okay, all right. Let's go back to the beginning. The movie. Even though, side note, the choice of Bye Bye Bye, I don't know if this was intentional, was also the Bye 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 that played in the car, and Wolverine was like, hell no, turn the radio off. Because I think Pyro turned the radio on in the car. I forgot which movie.
It's probably the second one.
He probably had to be.
Oh, it would
He
have to
was
be
the
the
one with
first one
Pyro,
because
so-
Pyro left in the first. He left in the first movie.
But he came
But he
back.
was in the second one.
Yeah, so it was whatever, it
So
was
it's
a
probably
car
the first
scene
one.
and stuff, and
It's
that's the
probably the
something
first
that
one, yeah.
came on, and Wolverine was like, hell no.
Oh,
I think
but-
after the first one, he joined Magneto. Then the second one, he was trying to kill the other students.
yeah. Because I'm thinking that might have been when they were on their way to Bobby's house to tell Bobby's
Mhm.
parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But again.
And I really thought too, when he was digging in the grave, that's how Wolverine was coming to come back. I was like, okay, he's gonna regenerate. I didn't know. It was like, ooh. And then he was like, well, damn.
He was like, fuck. I said, oh, he must be dead in there.
Yeah,
I was
right.
not expecting
Baby
to
was
see an
happy.
adamantium skeleton.
I wasn't
Exactly.
expecting that. Oh goodness.
Oh, they
He's in
killed
there
the
talking
TVA soldiers.
to him. He like crossed his leg. He was just like, yeah, nothing
Popped him
resurrect
up.
me faster than a bag of Marvel cash.
The Stan Lee cameo, the Stan Lee steamer on the side
Yeah.
of the bus.
I
Yes.
missed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You missed it?
I
You gotta go watch
literally
it again.
turned my head. I don't even remember for what. I may have looked down into my popcorn, but I turned my head and Mike said something, and I looked up and it was already gone.
It was pretty. It went by kind of quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was cute.
Oh, yeah. Because I was like, he made his cameo. You were like, huh?
And I was like,
Me
huh?
too.
He was like, Stan Lee. I was like, what? Missed
It's
it?
not him.
Yeah, I said the same thing in my quiet theater. I'm so disappointed in them.
I'm imagining. I'm imagining this, and it's funny as hell. Like you sitting in there, it's like I feel like you're like in that scary movie where she's in the movie by herself, and she's like, they gonna kill you.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
Brenda, it's scary movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm seeing, and it's hilarious.
I'm trying
That's
to
what I
think.
felt like.
What movie was it? I think when I went to go see maybe the Marvels, I had a similar experience because there were certain things. I know a lot of people, talk bad or whatever. I think the Marvels was a fun movie, and I had a lot of fun watching it. And I laughed out loud at certain parts, and I clapped at certain parts. And there were people in there who were just kind of like, I was like, This is why I like going to Thursday, even though, yes, I have to get up and go to work the next day, but I like going to Thursday viewings because, on Thursdays, that's when most
when
of
the fans go.
Yeah.
But I would have thought the same thing because I went on the Thursday too.
Right.
Yeah, them people was like.
But she was in Raleigh. I told you my best friend just left Raleigh. She was there for 10 years and she was like, the nerd scene there sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So you just have to come home. But you probably wouldn't have made it last week because Delta been having some issues, as you well know.
My first time I had to drive back.
Oh, shit.
I know.
Tell me about it.
I know.
And then coming back, my coworker drove. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to the MCU ATL fans that we were watching the movie with. That we were sitting there and the credits are rolling. Nobody moved.
Nobody got up. Nobody moved. I
Well,
was like,
people left our theater.
No,
People left our
everybody was sitting there and they were the thing is like they were like it was like quiet anticipation of the end credit
Mhm.
scene. It's
yeah.
like nobody moved. It
Because
was
Deadpool usually does have very funny things going on through the credits.
right.
And this particular time, they actually showed a kind of like a tribute reel of all the films that were Marvel characters at Fox. And it you had like scenes from the blooper reels, you had backstage stuff. And it basically Ryan Reynolds.
I figured that's what that was because I was a
Yeah.
little confused
Yeah.
at first. I was like,
Yeah, he was like, this was a thank you to Fox because as much as they pan everything, they're like Fox gave these characters their start.
Yeah.
They allowed them to bring them to life. And so that was just basically saying thank you for giving us these characters, allowing us to bring these characters to life. And it was just basically a nice transition into the MCU. And I thought it was really sweet because they included everything. They included all the X-Men movies, they included the Dark Phoenix films, they included both scenes from both of the Fantastic Four films,
Yeah.
and all of they included everything. And it really did feel like, I know there's a lot of jokes about Fox and what they did with Marvel, and Deadpool has always made fun and poked fun, but it really was a nice way to kind of end the movie and say, okay, we are done with Fox, but we appreciate what they allowed us to bring to the table. I thought it was really nice. So yeah, I mean, it was a fun movie. Even at the end, when you think that Deadpool and Wolverine are both about to sacrifice themselves, because at first Logan was going to sacrifice himself so that Deadpool can go back to his life, and then Deadpool, of course, pulled the old switcheroo, and he knocked Wolverine out.
That took me back to Endgame with Hawkeye and Black Widow. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, that took me back to Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
That too. Yeah. And Deadpool did that on purpose.
Where's the spot?
Right. Like, and
he was like flying like Superman. It was like,
I was like, Deadpool, go do what you're gonna do.
Go do what you gotta do.
And he just, basically there's this reactor that they're trying to I'm not going into all the terms because I only saw the
cross the streams, basically.
The Time Ripper.
Yes. And he's trying to destroy it, but he can't get over to the other side. So of course Wolverine is desperately trying to bust through this door so that he can get in there. And he finally does get in there. Of course, they link arms. And they do the thing, and then of course, like I said, all of the energy is coursing through their bodies because this thing is supposed to be able to kill them, neutralize them. So of course everything starts coming off, the clothes start coming off. Oddly enough, Deadpool's suit didn't come apart.
No.
Because he's with the TVA.
Remember, he got the special suit in the beginning. Remember, he had that special maid suit.
Yeah.
Wolverine had his world suit.
Yeah.
And also, Deadpool knew what the fans wanted.
Exactly.
Correct.
They wanted to see his cancer pox self. His cancer pox chest. Like,
right. No, see all that. We don't.
Because even Wolverine was like, I mean, Deadpool was looking at the abs like.
But it wasn't when he just standing there. I mean, he stretched out. And you just sorry.
Yeah, it was just there. But I will tell you this: Deadpool, he is one of those characters. He don't care what it is. If it's moving, he gonna flirt with it. He gonna get his sexual remarks, and he don't care. The fact that he was letting that damn dog lick him in the mouth was disgusting.
Oh, I'm like, that's not CGI, is it? Like, oh god. Oh god!
I don't know what
throw up in my mouth.
It was
shout out to Peggy, the dog.
Peggy,
yes, beautiful.
Mary Poppins,
beautiful.
Mary
Poppins. Yes.
She won the ugliest dog in the UK.
Yes.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm. But she was sweet.
Yes, very.
Sweet. The way she loved Deadpool, she kept running from her papa
Papa.
to go to Deadpool.
Mhm.
Nice Pool was like,
Made him not be the one to regenerate because everybody else came back to life. I wonder why.
because he was the nice one. Everybody else are killers. I think you got to have that little kill gene in you in order to be able to regenerate. He served his purpose.
Yeah, the gold plated 45s.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's really what he
That's
wanted.
really what he
That's
wanted.
that's really what he wanted. Once he
Wanted.
realized that he couldn't regenerate, he was like, okay, I can use you as a human shield until they shoot your head off, like literally shoot your head off.
Literally.
And then now I have to go over here and okay, well, you have no need for these guns if you can't regenerate. Yeah. That scene was
he was trying to get those guns the guns and the dog ever since he met her.
Yes.
Yep. But them going through all the Deadpools and killing them all, and they were like, yeah. And then everybody starts coming back to life. He was like, oh, I guess they're not like nice pool. He really thought that they had him killed. And then Peter comes in to save the day. Mr. I did, no, I don't have any superpowers. I just saw the ad and thought it looked like fun. Now, I will say this. Did we see Dopinder in this movie?
Yeah, that was at the party.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at the party.
Who?
Dopinder.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's at the party.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Michelle's like, why is he not in jail?
Right.
Because we just saw one where he had his careers.
Bantu. Yeah. But he wasn't in jail in the second one. Remember, he was
no,
working.
but I don't remember the second one like that. I'm like
okay.
Casey. The second one seemed to just kept going and going and going.
Okay. Yeah.
So from just watching the first one, I'm like, you have all those guns and that man in your trunk and you got a car accident. You should be in jail.
Under the jail.
I mean, in the second one, he literally runs somebody over. So if he in jail for that,
yeah, he does. But he was working for what's his name in the second one, so they probably got him out of jail. He was working at the bar.
Oh yeah,
as a custodian. Because remember when they allowed Peter to join the team, he got mad because he had been trying to tell Deadpool,
like, what the fuck? That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I wish we could have seen a little bit more of some of those characters as far as throughout the movie. But I mean, it was cool. It was cool that they did bring them back to kind of like close the story out, make them be the important part of what Deadpool is fighting for. So I thought that was cool.
So two things. First, I felt really bad for Wolverine when he was trying to get in there to prevent Deadpool from sacrificing himself. Like he was banging himself and hitting the door. And I'm like, you know what? It's a shame that he doesn't have anything that could cut the door. Like, if only he had like a knife or two or six that could like go cut through the door and make short work of it, where it wouldn't be that dramatic. But
you would have to bang on it.
Yeah, he would have to bang on it.
But it's that glass that has a little wire in it, so them hard to break.
His claws are made of adamantium. That's the strongest metal in
but it's barbed wire.
And they're sharp.
Second of all,
you talking about that kind of glass they put in between in the safes that's impenetrable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Whatever. But how is Battlestar alive?
You mean
Battlestar got cut? Battlestar got cut into pieces by a helicopter.
Shatterstar.
Shatterstar.
How the fuck is he alive?
He went back and saved everybody.
Yeah.
When he used Cable's time machine to go back and bring Vanessa back to life, he brought everybody else back to life.
But I thought he was. I don't know. For some reason, I thought he got to that point and saved everybody, but because they died before Peter landed.
Yeah, he probably would. I mean, if he could go back and shoot his Wolverine self, then he could go back and save the people. Yeah, I think the only
I
person
guess.
really that was missing from that little group. Well, no, it's not the only person because Domino
Like
wasn't
Domino,
there,
yeah.
and what was
Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist wasn't
yeah,
there.
Zeitgeist. That's who I was thinking of. That's Bill Skarsgård's character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, him, and I think there was one.
And Electro Terry Crews wasn't there either.
Oh, yep.
Oh yeah.
And then the invisible guy
Was
that
he?
was
Brad Pitt was there.
being
Invisible
Brad.
Yeah,
guy.
Invisible guy
Brad
was.
Pitt.
I mean, he might have been there. I mean, maybe I don't know.
He might have been. He might have been. But yeah, overall, I think this film was so much fun. I absolutely enjoyed it. I've loved seeing the reactions to people seeing it online. I've only seen like maybe a couple of people who were kind of like, oh, it was okay or whatever. Anthony, we're not paying attention to you.
Yes.
Anthony is in the minority here.
Yeah, it was fun. Like
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Like Michelle said, if there is a time like when I just need something to cheer me up or whatever, I can't wait for this to come out on streaming or on video. This is one that I would actually like buy because yes, I still have DVD players and
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do too.
I do too.
love it.
You just have to have them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
especially since a lot of places are, they're taking stuff off of streaming, and
Right.
some companies have decided that they're not going to continue making physical media. But I mean,
Or when they change the movie and the movie was a certain way, you
Yeah.
got to pull out the VHS because I know this wasn't like this.
right.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like getting the DVDs that have like all versions. You got basic, Blu-ray,
40K,
4K, and then digital. Like,
right?
give it to me all.
Everything.
Yep.
Give me
But
everything.
also, thanks, Disney, for agreeing to this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And letting them make fun of them.
Because that 20th Century Fox in that sand was hilarious.
Yeah.
There was something else.
I said, "Oh, they petty."
But I mean, but even from the first movie, he was talking about Fox.
Yeah. Oh, this is all the X-Men you can afford.
That was hilarious.
It's almost like nobody else lives here. It's almost like
Yeah.
They couldn't afford another X-Man.
right. And then you
And
had
then the second one when they were in
when they were in the room.
and they're like closing the door.
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene.
Yeah. Yes. So definitely thank you, Disney, because again, this was fun. It's been because I really kind of wonder, were they gonna allow it to be true Deadpool?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
was
don't
true.
think Ryan would have done it.
I don't think so.
I don't think he would have done
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
But it was true.
Yeah.
You can sit there and say, "Oh yeah, Disney, you missing," especially on the multiverse. Miss
Yeah,
after miss after miss.
Disney is all about the money. And they know
The MC Messiah.
and Wolverine.
Yeah. Jesus.
Marvel Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You can add Disney Jesus to his name too.
Mm-hmm.
But
my next favorite part is I learned so many different ways of saying cocaine.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Awesome. Yeah, white girl interrupted. Yeah. Do you want to build a snowman? Yes, but I can't.
When she was sitting up in that window, what did she say? I wish I was deaf instead of blind or something. Because she could hear them fighting, but she couldn't see it. And she knew that was gonna be an epic fight scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leslie Uggams getting fucking career, getting that cash and getting that check. I am not mad.
And I saw y'all had a Leslie Uggams cosplay, blind out cosplayer.
Yes, we did.
Yes. He killed it. It was perfect.
There was also another one who came in looking. She had a face mask.
She had like latex prosthetics. Yeah.
Wade. I just didn't take a picture.
Oh, I saw that. No, I saw it somewhere.
MCU ATL probably took a picture of it, but when I saw her, she was eating or she was talking to someone. I didn't want to disturb her. So, but yeah,
Yeah, she was dedicated. Like went there.
yeah,
Yes, you did.
yeah. We had they MCU ATL, they always do their fan events with Beltline Cosplay, which is one of the cosplay groups here in the Metro Atlanta area, and they always come in with some great cosplay. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. I think as far as like the big premieres, that was the second one that I had done because we did Wakanda Forever one together, and
Yeah.
the other ones that I've gone to, they haven't had as big a crowd because I hate to say it, a lot of people have not really been excited about a lot of the stuff that Marvel has come out with in the last couple of years. So hopefully this will kind of revitalize some things. And then of course, San Diego Comic-Con happened this past weekend. So they talked about Captain America Brave New World, which is coming out Valentine's Day next year. And then Thunderbolts is coming out my birthday weekend next year. So we got a couple of good things coming up. Also, while we're on it, let's talk about this big announcement. So they started talking about Avengers 4 and 5 because they are shifting away from the Kang dynasty because of all the trouble that Jonathan Majors got into. So the big bad is going to be what? Galactus in one of them, and then Doctor Doom in another. And then they revealed who is none other than Robert Downey Jr. And I know the reaction in Hall H when the reveal was made was ballistic. The reactions online have been a little bit mixed because there are some people who were like, this is just lazy writing. They could have picked somebody else to play Doctor Doom. And then you have the ones who are the comic book aficionados who are like, excuse me, there is a comic book story that shows that Iron Man.
Also known as actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mike
Actually,
might be one of those people.
in issue three on page 135, Tony Stark is actually in the Doctor Doom cosplay, in the Doctor Doom costume, and he is actually killing people in it. So there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. So I'm excited. I like Robert Downey Jr. and I know some people are like, I don't think he can pull it off. I was like,
they said the same thing about Iron Man.
Do you right?
Yeah.
Right. But then the memes have been coming out because they're taking what is it?
From Tropic Thunder.
Yes. My God.
I'm just a dude playing a dude.
Dude, this guy says another dude.
So
it's a very. I'm be honest with you. I mean, even if you don't feel like it's like you feel that it's lazy, it's the smart thing to do in the position that they're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's even hard to say they're lazy when just about everything they've done has been based on comic book stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you read comic books or have read comic books, they give you the blueprint of what they're doing.
But they had to, but everyone understand they had to do changes. So they literally had to go, they had to go with the safe bet because it's been going downhill.
Yeah, and here's the thing. All the fanboys are talking about Marvel, the old Marvel heyday, this new phase is garbage, blah, blah, blah. So y'all want them to go back to the original. Okay, RDJ is the original as far as this version of the MCU. So
and the Russo brothers. Like you're pulling what works.
Right.
To get back on track.
Right.
You got momentum now from Deadpool. We gotta get back on track.
Because y'all didn't like the female-led stuff. You didn't like the diverse stuff. Y'all have literally complained about everything that has come out. There has been complaints.
That's what fandoms do.
But then, hey, I agree because it had no phase 1, 2, just the connectivity of them. I mean, I know they figured it out after 2 movies in of how to make everything connect. Like, we have lost focus. We were more, I think it was more on let's make money than really putting thought and effort in these stories.
Yeah.
We're all over the place. Like we're literally all over the place.
That
Like
I
we need
will
to
say.
slow down and take our time and like what makes sense, what works together.
Yeah. I think the problem is they have good stories. I don't think the movies that and shows that we've seen thus far in the most recent phases, I don't think they're bad. I've enjoyed them, but I think they're trying to do too broad.
Yeah, it's too much.
Focus. And it's like, okay, we knew with Iron Man, Captain America, with all those characters, we knew we were coming to Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
And they also didn't really tell us stuff like 5 years in advance, like they've been doing now. I mean, we talked about it with the boys. The boys actually made fun of this, like, oh, we're going to introduce to you phases 4 through 19. That's literally how Marvel feels sometimes. And even though it gets us excited when things don't work out the way that they're supposed to, i.e., the Majors and Kang, and also Blade right now, it's like people start thinking that you've taken on too much. Stop giving us, right now we're in 2024. I don't need to know what's coming out in 2027, 2028, 2029, because things have changed so much that your trajectory may change. Don't tease something to us and then not give it to us, and then we
right, because you can't do it.
Right. Just get this little bit done. Okay. We see we got Captain America. We see we got Thunderbolts. And then,
let's go from there and focus on those things. Right now. Because even if the latest movies, like you said, they were good, but then are they in your top 5?
Right.
Are they? Right. Are these movies we're going back to watch on Disney Plus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even the TV shows, like they were good, but which ones are we rewatching?
Hold on, Secret Invasion was not good.
Okay.
That's neither here.
Secret Invasion wasn't good.
That's neither here nor there.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, even some other ones, Echo wasn't either. However,
hey,
are we rewatching?
No.
Echo was good.
Yeah, we're not gonna do this right.
I'm sorry, missing some pieces. We're not
gonna do this.
Okay, but y'all talked about that though. It wasn't a complete story. So let's move on from there. Y'all did. I listened to you. It wasn't a complete story. So we need to go back to where we're focusing on, like you said, maybe 3 at a time, and then 2 television shows.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not just get random people that, I want you to direct. I want you to direct. Okay.
Right.
What is our goal here?
Mm-hmm.
We all gonna sit in the meeting. I need all of us to be in the meeting. I don't want a meeting over here for this superhero, a meeting over here for this hero, and then we're like, we'll throw you a bone here. We all in the meeting together. What is the goal?
Right.
What should it look like?
What is the end game?
Correct.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
so we're like, oh my God, when the next movie come out, let's let's stay to even in credits.
I don't need to hear any other Blade news, period. I don't need to hear when y'all get another director. I don't need to hear when y'all get other writers. Just do that shit in secret. Start building the product, and then once you have something substantial, like when you get to a point where you can release a teaser trailer, that's when I want to hear what y'all got going on.
Right. The thing is, it's like you should have had that right after Eternals. I mean, like, come on, you teased it. I mean, effing years was that ago?
The writer's
10, 15?
The writer's strike killed momentum.
It kind of did.
Yeah, and some other things, but
Yeah. I think I don't know what we're discussing, but I think I called it when they were getting ready to start this, like right before Ant-Man, before Quantumania came out. I think pretty sure I don't know what we're talking about, but I think I said that they have to be really careful about the multiverse, because if you do it wrong, it's going to be a huge mess and it's going to fuck you up. It's going to set you back. It's going to set you back. And it's pretty much just exactly what happened. Like they had a couple missteps, and like even though DC's not really doing anything right now, and they're still kind of stumbling and bumbling, if DC would have their shit together, DC would be right up there with them. Also, about as far as like Robert Downey Jr. being Doom, as a parallel, Jason Momoa is playing Aquaman, but he's not going to play Aquaman anymore. He's going to play Lobo and coming up. Like they already talked about it, which is cool. That's fine because like his Aquaman was kind of meh, whatever. But we're talking about I'm the way I'm going to just like with everything else, like with Pattinson being Batman, with a lot of other characters like being something that we don't expect. I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to really give an opinion. I just kind of wish that I want this universe to expand more. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want it to include more like different actors. It's like they've already started being more diverse with Kahori and What If and Echo and things of that nature. Like they're already expanding like that. Because they were talking about what's his name from No Country for Old Men being Galactus or even being Doctor Doom. Like there were so many other actors that got me excited about Doctor Doom because I mean, we got to be honest, they fumbled it the last two times they tried to do Doctor Doom. It was subpar. It was bad. Like so I actually I would have I really was looking forward to seeing a different face. Not that I don't think Robert Downey Jr. could do a good job because duh, he's an Oscar-winning actor. Of course he could do a good job. Of course he's probably gonna kill it. I think I would have rather seen a new actor coming forward.
But
You know
see,
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
that's part of the problem because Marvel in the last few years they have been doing properties where they're introducing new actors, different actors, and the problem is the fans aren't responding. So, like Michelle said, you go back to something that works that you know will get butts and seats, and Robert Downey Jr. is one of those things. If there's even a hint that he will be Iron Man, like you said, Anthony, or I think Mike, you were the one that said it. This comic book run where Iron Man, well, Tony Stark was in the Doctor Doom suit. I think I heard someone say that Doctor Doom appropriated some Stark tech, including the Iron Man suit. I don't know how true that is, but if there's even a slim possibility of that happening, you know, the people who have been there from the beginning, they're going to want to see it just because they're like, okay, I need to see how this goes. But like Marvel tried to do the thing, they introduced new people, they introduced new characters, new good characters, in my opinion. But again, everybody, well, I won't say everybody, a lot of people just didn't connect with those characters. And let's be honest, the diversity of some of the characters, the majority audience did not connect with them because they didn't look like them.
And I could be wrong. I thought people did want Jonathan Major. No, I think that's where we got screwed up. That's what messed everything up.
To be honest, I don't really want to be caught speaking for fanboys, but they've been kind of asking for Doctor Doom for a while, really not thinking that they didn't own the property, so they couldn't do them. So they went with Kang because they actually own that property. So they pretty much gave the fanboys what they wanted. They're going to get Doctor Doom. They've been kind of asking for that anyway. I don't know if it's about them not liking the fact that Jonathan Majors was going to be the villain. I don't really want to think that, but I really think that he's such a random. I don't want to say random villain. He's not Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is probably second to Thanos as like the main number one villain, using air quotes, in the Marvel universe, because he's been a villain, he's been a hero, he's been in the middle, he's been neutral. He's been just, I'm gonna stay in my country and y'all are gonna mess with me. He's sort of he's sort of like Black Panther and Wakanda in that way.
He's white T'Challa. Yeah.
Right. So I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just adding on. I think we were going that direction with Jonathan Major, and I think all of that with his issues just really messed things up, that they went with the safe choice. So when I say RJ, he's a moneymaker and he's a safe choice. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be for real. Like, he's not going to do anything in the next couple of years while we try to get this movie together for us to have to fire him. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Well, they could kill two birds with one stone because I thought he was going to come back anyway. Because in Ironheart, in the comic books, he's there as AI.
Right.
So I assumed he was going to be back anyway. I just thought it would be, it's kind of cool. And back to the multiverse thing, again, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's been several versions of Tony Stark as Doctor Doom or Doctor Doom as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like Tony Stark died in one series, and Victor Von Doom decided that I'll just become Iron Man.
Right. And I think they just went with that choice instead of hiring someone again because he's safe. He's not going to say.
Yeah, he's already had that phase in his life.
Right, he has. Like he's like just like us, just the old people just living our lives. Like it's nothing's going to happen. So we know that storyline is secure. And then hopefully we can get some more even diversity in Fantastic Four.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was a plan all along. They just had to accelerate it because of having to get rid of Kang.
Yeah. But I think I remember
once they got Fantastic Four back, that was a done deal.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah.
That is true.
But also I remember back when they first announced bringing Kang into the MCU. I remember you, Mike, and Lori being the comic book people that y'all are. I remember all of y'all were surprised. They were like, Lori literally said, I never thought I'd get a Kang movie in my life. I never thought I would see that happen. So that on top of Jonathan Majors and Michelle, I understand what you're saying, but I think part of the thing with Jonathan Majors is, I'm going to put it out there and say most of us were excited about him because we watched Lovecraft Country and we saw what he could do and how great he was. Most of the other fanboys, and I will say probably most of the white fan base, if they did not watch Lovecraft Country, they really don't know who Jonathan Majors is.
No,
but
unless they watch Lovecraft Country, or unless they watch Creed, which they may have watched Creed just because it was attached to Rocky. But other than that, they don't really know that everybody was willing. Once that one little allegation came out, they were like, okay, yeah, let's drop him. And literally nobody in the fandom community was kind of like, oh, this sucks. Like, yeah, there were people who were upset, but to the point where, like, for, let's say, Johnny Depp, where they would like literally say, hey, let's write petitions to get him back. He hadn't gotten that far in building that kind of fan base yet.
No, he hasn't. But the thing is, they gotta understand, fanboys gotta understand, all of this started with not even the top listed hero. Iron Man wasn't a top listed hero. Sometimes we gotta have a D-list villain.
Yeah.
Instead of an A-list villain. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Give a little spark,
It's very hard to do Kang right without the Fantastic Four. And
so you needed Fantastic Four for Kang, you need Fantastic Four for Dr. Doom, you need Fantastic Four for Silver Surfer too?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, this damn Fantastic Four, it better be good. Because I'm questionable about Fantastic Four.
I'll have to see because I'm a little hesitant about that too.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you guys have any last thoughts about Deadpool and Wolverine?
I think I said my piece.
Yeah, we're not paying attention to you.
Shout out. Okay. So shout out to them for giving X-23 her sunglasses back that she stole in Logan in the right before the fight.
I thought that was so cute.
That was a great touch. I love that. What else I got? Shout out for Cassandra having a Doctor Strange sling ring. I was like, how
with the time stone and the reality stone.
Right.
Yeah. Like, where the hell did she get that from?
She said a silly little wizard came through here and left it over there.
The wannabe wizard, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, my head canon. I was like, was it Ned? Was it Yang? Like,
you know who I thought it was? I thought it was the one in She-Hulk that was doing like the like again Donnie Blaze, the one in She-Hulk that Wong was suing because he was using the sling blade, using the sling ring to like
Oh
in his act.
yeah.
I thought it was him. I thought
Oh,
he was the one. And I was like, that actually makes sense.
Huh.
Like Wong
yeah.
would somehow get him to get sent to the void, and he'd face Cassandra, and Cassandra would basically probably dress him down just like she did Johnny Storm, be like, oh, what's this? Like,
I
oh,
just thought it was cool. It was a sling ring
it was
with the
with
reality
Infinity
stone
Stones in it.
and the
Like,
time
what the
stone.
fuck?
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
That's a silly
Yeah,
little wizard. Silly little wizard.
man, I thoroughly, like, I'm I'm so happy that because this movie was as good or even a little bit better than I thought it was going to be because I was so scared. I was like, oh, I'm going to be so disappointed if this is not living up to what I have it built up to in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like as big of a Deadpool pool fan, probably as big a Deadpool fan as I am a Howard the Duck fan. So that was all like fandom equally pretty big, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, I'm building this up way too high. Like I'm setting myself up for disappointment. And I was like, okay, that was fucking awesome. I'm outstandingly happy about that. I'm glad that I got. It's another thing I get to talk to Nathan Fillion about at Dragon Con. Like, yay!
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, I love this movie. This is probably overall it definitely in my top five. Pretty pushing my top three.
yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
I would not.
Nobody asked you.
We know.
I absolutely loved it, but it's not in my top five.
Not even top 20.
You know
Look
what?
here.
Wait a
You know
second.
what?
It's
On
in the
that
top
note,
10. It's in the top 10.
there. Thank you. I can appreciate that because I am a diehard fan. So of
It's
course it's going
before
to be
Thor, Love
top
and
five.
Thunder.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
right down there with Thor 11.
No, it's not.
No, it's
It
You
not.
know
possibly
what?
be.
And
On that note, on
Whatever.
that note,
that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.